everyone, and welcome to the United Creed podcast. We've got a very special guest today. It's my uncle, Gary Prescott. He is a practitioner in orthotics and prosthetics, where he has owned and operated a business, industry-leading business here in San Antonio for several decades. And he has proven his head for business over the years, and he's also demonstrated equally his heart for people. He's gone to Honduras to work with the kids down there. He used to do that once a year with a medical team, and he's served in the military as a medical professional. And he comes from humble beginnings, and he's just a great example for all of us to see that when you stay driven and determined to do something that can really help people, there's real success in that. So we're honored to have him on the show, and thank you for being here, Uncle Gary. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you grow up, and how did your education go, and tell us about Gary Prescott.
All right, I was born here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
1950.
Oh, yeah.
And had an older brother, younger brother. Mom run off and left us. I guess my parents were divorced.
Right.
And anyway, they probably weren't getting along or whatever, but she left us, and he came over to visit, and we were there, and so we just started living with him, and that's how that worked.
Yeah.
And then I guess he was married 4 times. We had 3 stepmothers, and they didn't last too long.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was a good guy, but evidently, and his favorite saying was that he wasn't very good with marriage, but he's sure good with women.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
I love that line.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, that's a good one.
But anyhow, as we grew up, we didn't have a lot of supervision. I quit school when I was 16. I just couldn't take it, man.
Yeah.
And I was always a little different, probably. And not probably, I was a little different. And I guess I was driven to work. Man, I just couldn't handle it at school.
You had a drive that most people didn't have, right?
Yeah. I just, if you wanted to try to outwork me, it wasn't going to happen. Man,
right.
I just kept going until you dropped.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons I've been successful. But
the drive, that's definitely.
I've been doing this for, I guess, like 56 years now.
Yep.
Something like that. Anyway, I moved around. I quit school. Had to have Daddy sign them papers when I was 16. And then I left. Went to work at a tire station. Man, I was the best tire changer you could ever imagine. And I made big bucks.
That's awesome.
But
you were
anyway, I went
first job, right?
First job, man.
Grinding it out.
And I didn't have a car, so a guy picked me up and took me to work every morning. And but man, I had so much fun, and working was man, I was making money and this and that. It wasn't a lot of money for other people, but for me, it was
right.
Something.
New to the workforce.
Yeah. So anyway, after that, I guess I went to Houston, worked in the construction stuff. And
what time frame was that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. A couple of years after I started working, Anyway, right. I started doing construction stuff.
So that was 70s, I guess, probably, or.
I was 16, so it was 66.
Right.
Somewhere in that area.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Anyway, so doing construction, and I liked that. And of course, I didn't take instruction very well. And,
the rebel in you,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. The way that people wanted to push you around and stuff, I didn't like that. Man.
Yeah.
So I pushed back. Anyway, ended up in Gillette, Wyoming with a buddy of mine in the wintertime, working on oil rigs. And it was a cold winter, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. That's my kind of deal,
Right.
And decided to call home and talk to my dad, ask him how everything's going. He said, "You better come on home. You got some mail."
Uh-oh.
That's all he told me. I said, "Okay." So, man, I took off, came back to San Antonio, and I've been drafted.
Oh, yeah.
So, and my dad was in the R&P business. He
Right.
He owned the company. He started it in 53, or he didn't start it, he bought it from somebody in 53, and this was like 60, 68 probably. I don't know when I came back. But anyway,
you
I
were
was drafted.
about 18 by that point, I guess, to get drafted.
Yeah, so I got drafted, came home, and I needed a place to work until I went to the draft board. So I went to work with him.
I got you.
He was doing O&P.
Right.
And so I got the draft board finally a couple of months later, and they're asking me questions. What kind of work you do? I said, well, I make artificial legs and braces and stuff. I didn't think anything of it. So anyway, Vietnam was going on, and it was tailing down. So I come out of basic training out of Fort Polk, Louisiana, and they sent me to Fort Ord, California. And that's where they were shipping out for Vietnam back then.
Oh, really?
So I thought, okay, well, I'm headed to Vietnam.
Right.
It didn't bother me. I didn't, I was tough enough. I could handle it. It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get to Fort Ord, and they put me in the hospital unit. And I was a 42 Charlie, which was in the hospital brace shop.
Okay.
But I had a 42 Charlie 20 MOS, military service number. The 20 meant I was prior experience.
Oh, because
O&P.
you had been working for your dad. Yeah.
So anyway, so I came out of 42 Charlie 20 and went and worked in the brace shop down at Fort Ord, and I knew more than those guys. Anyway, I had so much fun. Anyway, they shipped me over to. I was going to arrange a swap with a guy who was from California. And he was over there also, and I was from San Antonio.
Right.
And we tried to arrange a swap where I could go to San Antonio, he could go to California.
Oh, okay.
We both ended up at Landstuhl, Germany, Second General Hospital.
Oh my God! Talk about a little bit of a reroute, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I did my time there, and. They were bringing those troops back, but most of them didn't survive at that time. We just saw very few. And anyway, I was getting out, and my brother got drafted.
Yeah.
A year later, my younger brother, and he was in a tank unit, medic in the tank unit over there. And he came to visit me, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm getting out of here in about a month. You need to put in for this MOS."
Right.
And maybe you can get it, because he had prior experience also, because we both worked for the old man.
Right.
And he did, and he replaced me. So when I left, he took my slot.
He filled in.
Yeah, and I came back and started working. And the rest is history. I've been working ever since, doing the same stuff,
Right.
I'm still doing it today.
Building braces and building artificial limbs.
Yeah.
So you've been doing that work for, you said 50?
Well, I used to say 53 years, but I sold that business 3 years ago. So
right.
56 years, and I'm still doing it.
I know, that's amazing.
I'm not planning on quitting. So.
Exactly. So let's talk about that time, the time back, and I guess it was like maybe the late 80s, early 90s, when you were teaming up with that medical group, those folks that were going down to Central America and helping out those kids that needed artificial limbs and bracing and
yeah.
Who was that team that y'all were joined up with, and how did that go, and what was that experience like?
At the time, I did everything was Forrest Gump type stuff when I first started doing all this.
The technology,
right? Metal and leather, and
right.
wooden legs.
Right.
We had to carve them out with wood tools and stuff like that. In the 70s, the plastic came out, polypropylene, AFOs, and the different types of laminating to make prosthetic devices and stuff, different componentry and all that. So, and the times were changing, so I didn't have any formal education. Oh, in the meantime, my dad died. Well, first thing is, I got married to Patty. We're still married, so anyway, that was fun. Anyway, I was still working, but 10 days after I got married, my dad died. And so I was at this business that he had, and by then I knew the ropes pretty good.
Right.
And there were only 6 or 7 of us down there,
Right.
And but anyway, I was just a little more aggressive than my dad, and he taught me a lot.
Right.
But from there, I started reading and trying to upgrade my educational stuff. And
Right.
about that time, a guy named Jim Russ started an O&P program at Northwestern.
In
And it was
Chicago?
In Chicago. So he started this O&P program, and you had to have a GED or some other kind of education, a high school diploma or something, whatever. Well, anyway, I got my GED in the Army.
Oh, okay.
So I qualified to go to this first starting of this school for
That's great.
orthotics and prosthetics. But I had to do it. I was already in business, and I had to do it part-time, which they allowed you at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to 4 to 6 week type courses.
Oh,
Upper
okay.
extremity. And you could do it 1 a year or 2 a year or however many you wanted.
Huh, interesting.
There wasn't really a degree. It was just short courses for certificates.
Right.
And that's how we did it.
Right.
Anyway, I did that and went to upper lower spinal for orthotics. And they didn't even have a prosthetic program at the time.
Really?
It started later, yeah. And anyway, I was already in practice, and Jim Russ needed, and he was starting a central fab business,
Yeah.
and he needed somebody that knew what they were doing. Well, he picked on me. He wore me out, and I'm really thankful that he did, because, and I could take it. I was tough enough to
Oh,
take it.
yeah, of course.
And so I went to work for him at nighttime building braces,
Oh, wow.
the Forrest Gump stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he was just getting into the plastic stuff.
Okay.
And using an oven, and he's the one that really got me interested in doing plastics.
Right.
And from there, once I took all my courses and everything, I went back home to practice, and then maybe 6 months later I go do another course.
Right.
That's sort of how I got my education.
Right.
No degree, just short courses. And I started getting better and better at the plastic end of it. And by then I was a lot more aggressive than anybody doing anything in San Antonio. I mean, I really loved it, and I was going for it, man.
Right. That was the way of the future. I mean,
oh yeah,
the people that were hanging on to that Forrest Gump way were just getting left in the dust.
Well, and the other thing was I knew everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody knew me, and I was trying to help other people get into the plastics. I was kicking their ass. I mean, they didn't have a chance, man.
Exactly. You were aggressive.
I know. And while they were sleeping, I was working.
Right.
They never even knew it.
Right.
And I never really let on what I was doing. They didn't really ask me,
Right.
But if they needed plastic braces or something, I'd have them come over and I'd show them how to do it, or I'd do it for them.
Right.
And that's sort of how the plastics came
Started,
in.
right.
And it just revolutionized everything. So I was one of the first to do that. And
So what time frame was that when it all started changing in that way, and then you really ran with it?
I would think mid-70s probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the plastics started coming in.
Yeah. And I started reading about it probably in the early 70s.
Yeah.
That people were playing with it, but I tried it, and this stuff will never work, man.
Right.
I just threw it away. I said, that ain't gonna work, man. There ain't no way.
It's different.
So
Very
I went
different.
back. Oh yeah. So I went back doing my thing, and slowly, the more I read, the more I saw, and then after we're going to school and being with Russ, I could see, hey, this is gonna be okay. But I got good at it.
Yeah.
And
those
that's
nighttime reps.
Oh yeah, man.
That's a difference maker right there.
Forget it.
Hard work.
Yeah.
Burning the midnight oil.
Yeah. And people have asked me even today, they go, man, how did you do it? I said, well, while they were sleeping, I was working. Pretty easy.
That's it.
They
It's
didn't
that
even know
simple,
it.
right? You just
Yeah.
got to want it more.
Yeah.
You got to really have that
Yeah.
drive and determination.
But anyway, getting back to the hospitals and all that stuff, we started doing hospital calls early 70s with a plastic posterior shell body jacket kind of thing. 'Cause
Oh,
they
yeah.
would do spine surgery, and they'd have to put some kind of a brace on them, or we used to put them in plaster body casts. And
Right.
they'd wear that cast for 4 to 6 weeks, and then we'd change that cast and put another cast on them.
Okay.
So I learned from the orthopedic surgeons how to do all that plaster work,
Right.
how to put casts on, how to do that. And I used to do all kinds of fracture braces and all kinds of stuff,
Right.
but no one was aggressive enough or had confidence enough to do it.
Yeah.
Man, I just kicked their ass.
Yeah, because you were immersed in it. You were
Yeah.
doing it every day. It was like
And
becoming
so-
second nature, really.
Well, one of the doctors that came out, there were 2 really good orthopedic surgeons that came out. The one that I went to Honduras first with, and that asked me to, the way it happened is there was a 4-year-old that had polio, and she
Okay.
needed some kind of a brace, and he had gone to Honduras
Mm-hmm.
and come back and brought her over, and they did surgery on her, but they needed a brace. So he called me and said, "Hey, can you make a brace?" I said, "Sure." So I made it. And anyway, she went back home, did well. She came back, and then he decided, or her family was going to help start a clinic over there. It was in Santa Rosa,
Okay.
which is
Senator.
in the middle of Honduras, up on a mountain. One road in, one road out.
Right.
Very primitive. And that's how I got started, was with him, a guy named Ira Yount.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was a great guy. He's the only guy that ever called me up and he says, "What in the hell did you do to this kid?" I said, "I don't know what you're talking about, Dr. Yount." Well, someone that worked with me had sort of screwed things up. I said, just send them back over here and I'll take a look at them.
Yeah.
But after that, man, he did call me. He says, "Man," he said, what kind of school do y'all got to show you how to do this stuff?" And I started laughing. And anyway, he said, "Well, I'm going to send you to school. You just tell me where I need to send you."
Yeah.
I said, "Dr. Yount, just send them over here. I'll take care of it."
Yeah.
So he did. And over the years, we became really good friends.
That's great.
But we went to Honduras for 31 years. I was the oldest member of that group.
So did you have other folks and like you're specialized in helping folks that need artificial legs and bracing and that
Yeah.
type of thing.
Right.
Did you have folks that specialized in other areas go along with y'all on those trips?
Yes.
Kind of like a mission, really. It's like get the troops together and let's go.
Yeah, and it was home based out of the Methodist Hospital.
Okay.
And we started. We went with the Rotary Club to start the first year. And there were probably about 6 or 7 of us. And we had an orthopedic surgeon. We had some nurses. We had ICU nurse. And it's going to be all pediatric stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything that was pediatric. And all of these volunteers were from the Methodist Hospital. Really great people. And I was the outside guy. I was in private practice. They
Right.
all worked at the hospital. So
Right.
they were connected. And I was sort of an outsider. But man, me and Yount got along so good. Man.
Right.
We drank a lot of beer,
Yeah.
as much as we could, and but
Just-
we worked hard. We worked from daylight to dark.
Right.
But at nighttime, we drank all that beer.
Work
man.
hard, play hard, huh?
But after 31 years, the team got old. You couldn't get volunteers, and I think I went down there that last year, and even 3 years leading up to it. The last year I went back to Honduras myself to fit this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Now I'd made 22 legs, and this is for kids.
Right.
And I don't know how many braces, and we had it all over there, and I couldn't get it out of customs. And after about the 3rd or 4th day of going down that mountain and talking to the people in the whoever lets the stuff in,
Right.
the guy came back, and I thought, oh man, this time it's going to be good. We're going to be able to deliver this stuff to these kids. The guy comes back and he goes, "It's impossible."
Oh,
Man,
gosh.
I almost fell
It's
apart. I said,
impossible.
"Game over. I'm out of here."
Yeah.
I was the last one to quit going,
Yeah.
and
So y'all did that for 31 years.
yeah,
And how long were y'all there when you go on these trips? You're there for like a week, or how long were y'all there for?
Yeah, at least a week. Sometimes
probably
a day
longer.
or,
Yeah, I would think so.
A couple days longer maybe. But sometimes we could have a really easy trip. Sometimes we couldn't. But it's like we would see an unending line of kids, man. I mean,
right.
The lines were always the same, unending. I mean, but
there's a big need for it. Yeah.
The plastic surgeons go over do the cleft palates, maybe some other handicap type skin grafts, that they might have needed for burns. A lot of burns.
Yeah.
People falling in fires because they didn't even have electricity over there.
Yeah.
This was 31 years before I quit going, man. I mean, I got not film, but I have slides.
Right.
Of
third world,
how that was.
Very bad, situation, and y'all are helping those kids.
That's where I learned to do a lot of stuff. I had to do the hands-on. I wasn't afraid to do anything, man.
Right. You gotta just go for it in many cases. Like just lean in and let's go.
Anything that happened here in the States, I could do it, and I showed a lot of people. I helped a lot of people. I was pretty successful. I could do whatever I needed to do. I went and helped people start shops. Start their own deal. I remodeled their places for them. I did everything to help them in their community get it going.
Exactly, right. That's what it's all about is leaving footsteps behind, you know, so other people can pick it up and run, because it is a need that everyone's got. So I think that you're talking about how rough it was, conditions were and everything. So that just makes the totally different scenario than what we got. We've got all these first world problems like, we deal with here, but living there for a week at a time when you're there, you got to notice some things though that are kind of like a little inspiring about that culture, right? The gratitude, the things like that. Did you see anything that kind of, you're like, man, I wish we had some more of that back home?
Well, everyone over there really appreciated you.
Right.
They appreciated anything you did for them.
Right.
And I remember when we first started going, the children never cried.
Really?
Even after surgery, they weren't whimpering or anything. They just give them Tylenol. I mean, they didn't give them the hard drugs like we would do over here.
Right.
And after 31 years, they were all Americanized. So the whole culture over there changed a little bit. But
really?
I started seeing people sitting. There's 800 people sitting in line. And there's got to be 100 of them sitting there on a cell phone.
Wow.
And I'm wondering,
it's a big change.
What is this all about? I don't even see cell phone towers. How are they doing this? What are they doing? Are they fake?
Yeah. Like, what's going on? This is, go from no electricity to cell phones, and like, that's in no time, right?
I'm telling you, it was different.
It has happened quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's interesting to hear, even in the third world countries. I mean, we see what's happened here with the rapid launch of technology and all the AI and all this stuff going on. But even back then, you can still see that trajectory just taking off, man.
Well, one of the things that I noticed, I was trying to get those guys to come over here to the States where we could train them on how to do stuff.
Yes.
That was difficult because they couldn't get in, or they wouldn't go in, or whatever. So that really never happened. So when I was over there, I always tried to help them and do stuff. But one of the things that I realized, I'd go to their warehouses to find parts that I could use over there, showing them how to do stuff, or anything that was unusual. I'd go tear it up and show them how to fix it and do stuff. They had warehouses full of artificial leg stuff, componentry.
Really? Yeah.
Feet, knees, ankles, whatever we needed. But they didn't know what to do with it. So they'd put it in the warehouse. It was, and
you're like, man, we could make all kinds of stuff here.
Full of stuff that was donated to them that they couldn't use.
Yeah.
And what they really needed was somebody to go over there and train them.
Exactly.
Or bring them over here and train them.
That's what I wanted. They've got a bunch of stock that they can use.
They had plenty of that, but there's stuff.
So you made the effort to do it. It just, there was too many barriers. Yeah. Politically, I'm sure. And just, and
political deal,
the language barriers, that makes it tough too.
We had some good times though. There's a lot of a lot of stuff that happened that was really good. You'd see kids walking and stuff that never walked before.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
great.
powerful to be a part of something like that.
Yeah.
So what about over in Germany? You got to spend any time outside of the bubble you were in on base, and what was that like? Was it? You're a young kid. I'm sure you got to experience a little bit of German culture. Was there anything there where you're like, man, I wish I could see more of that back home?
I'm a little different, man. I'm pretty shy about doing stuff like that. I hung up there on that hill. I didn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
The only time I went down there was when my brother came over and visited, and we go into a bar, and sure enough, he says something. Man, we got our ass whipped. I never went down that hill again, man.
Yeah, so you stayed up there.
Yeah, so that was the only time. But I did my thing. I was good at what I did, and that's what I did.
Yeah. So one more question for you. I guess maybe it's Honduras, maybe it's not. But one thing I wanted to get is your favorite patient story. You know, the most kind of rewarding deal where, like you say, you get to see kids that never even walked before, get to see them walk. Is there a particular case that you were involved in that was just like, man, that's rewarding right there?
Well, I'll tell you, there's so many. I can't even tell you. I see very difficult cases.
Yeah.
Nobody else, they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I got all the really, really difficult stuff. So every one that I did, man, it just made you feel good. I felt almost bad. I was selfish because, man, it made me feel good.
Yeah, of course.
And every
a blessing,
one of those kids,
right?
It's pretty amazing. But I started doing what we call RGOs, a reciprocating gait orthosis.
Okay.
And it's for T8, T12 paraplegics. And it was the first one. You weren't born yet.
I'm an 86er.
I don't know. I get lost in time, man. But I got an interest in these kids that were paralyzed, and I used to do a lot of cerebral palsy and a lot of spina bifida and car accidents and stuff like that. So anybody that I got to work on, I got them up and moving.
Yeah.
One of the early ways of doing that was that one we called an RGO. It was out of Louisiana, and they came up with a reciprocating hip joint type system where they could walk one leg in front of the other.
Help them with the motion.
And there was a girl that was getting married, and she was the first one I ever saw. It was on TV, and she walked to her husband or to be or whatever with a walker, but she walked moving her legs. And I go,
that is incredible. Walk down the aisle?
Well, yeah.
She got to walk?
Probably not a long ways, but for the TV that we saw, she walked over there, and that got my attention. And that was the first time I really heard about RGOs.
Yeah.
And so I went to Durafillauer, who manufactured those joints.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of paraplegic kids I was working on.
Yeah.
Well, this system was made for adults.
Ah, I see.
And so I took it from there. I went up there and spent a week with those guys, learned exactly how to do it and what they were doing, how they did it.
Right.
And I took their componentry and downsized it and did what I needed to do to make it happen for a little kid.
Yes.
And man, I started walking all of these spina bifida kids with these RGOs. They'd go from here to there, and I got video, I got all kinds of stuff.
That is incredible. So what does that do for their development further along?
Well, any type of equipment is hard to wear.
Yeah.
That's your biggest problem. So when they start rebelling against putting stuff on and doing that, then you're done. You got to change systems. But these kids, when they could start walking on using a walker, they wouldn't go on by themselves, but using a walker and reciprocate just like the other kids, and they could stand without having to worry about balancing and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It was fun, man. A lot of fun.
I can only imagine. That's amazing.
So those kids, mostly pediatric, is where I get a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Because I was a poor kid. I didn't have, man.
Yeah.
And anyway, I really enjoyed trying to help those people. And I had a little more empathy for the parents and everybody else too, because they're the forgotten ones.
And
I always paid attention to the parents.
Yeah.
And that was as rewarding to me,
right,
as a kid walking.
Oh man,
parents sitting there crying and smiling.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just seeing that has got to be just inspirational. It makes you want to keep doing it, right?
Oh yeah. No, it's that was probably one of my favorite things, was a mom and dad that saw their kids walking.
Yeah. I can't think of a better way to close this episode than that right there.
Yeah.
If that's not a perfect example of a unwavering commitment to serve others, then I don't know what is. So we'll have more United Creed for you later, but until then, we're just going to be golden.
I like it.
Yeah. See, that's kind of what we're going with. Thank you for tuning in to the United Creed podcast. We are a 501c3 nonprofit that provides funding for cancer patients to receive cutting-edge treatments that aren't currently covered by health insurance, while also fostering inner wellness through Freedom Prayer Ministry. I would like to invite you to go to theunitedcreed.com and donate $20 a month to our cause. That's just 65 cents a day, which isn't much, but your donation is literally an answer to thousands of prayers. Take my story, for example. My community rallied around me and raised money so that I could receive immunosine dendritic cell treatments, which isn't currently covered by health insurance. I'm happy to report that I'm in good health and enjoying excellent quality of life. And this treatment wouldn't have been possible for me without the compassion of my community. So this is what inspired my wife and I to form the United Creed. Our goal is to inspire 50,000 people to subscribe to giving $20 a month to our cause. That would raise enough money to cover 100% of immunosine dendritic cell treatments and travel for over 100 cancer patients every single year. So please go to theunitedcreed.com and click the donate button today. Together, we can bring unity and perseverance for the cancer community. I know it because I've witnessed it. So thank you, and God bless.